Our keynote speaker for the Veterans Day Assembly will be Master Sergeant Robert Haun. Would you please stand? He is here today with his wife, Mrs. Haun, and his son, Caleb Haun, who is a Grizzly Middle School member, and we are so excited to have them. You can stand or you can stand, your choice. Master Sergeant Robert Haun is a third-generation military. Both his grandfathers served in World War II. He, 5 days after graduating high school, went into the military. He knew what he wanted to do. He went in and graduated first in his class in hydraulics and mechanics. I would like you to listen to the number of deployments and where he has served our country. First, in December of 2002, he deployed to Kuwait as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Then, in May of 2004, he deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Afghan Freedom. In January of 2007, he deployed to Bogota, Colombia in support of the Anti-Drug Coalition. In May of 2008, he deployed to Afghanistan again in support of Afghan freedom. After that, he was personally honored by President George W. Bush for his accommodations during that campaign. Later, he deployed to Turkey in April of 2016 in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. He has literally deployed all over the globe in support of freedom, and he is here within our community. I asked him, and you can see from the medals that he wears, to give me a little bit of information about them. I'm going to be honest with you. He gave me very little information about them. But he did tell me this. Of his 21 years of service, he has 22 medals and citations. The two that he allowed me to talk about were the Meritorious, and I might be saying that wrong, Meritorious Service Medal, and the Air Force and the Army Accommodation Medal. He also wears something that is dear to my heart. He wears the C device. That is given over a medal if you have seen combat, which he has multiple times. He wears these in honor of how he performed combat missions and served his particular MOS. After more than 2 decades of faithful and honorable service, Master Sergeant Robert Haun retired in August of 2021. His career stands as a testament to his devotion, his duty, his faith, and his enduring commitment to the ideals of the service itself. Please give a warm welcome to Master Sergeant Robert Haun.
Thank you. Two things people always ask me. The first one is, how do you graduate from Weiser and live in Fruitland? Well, I've been here longer than I lived in Weiser, so I can proudly say I'm a Grizzly. So yeah, that's the first thing people ask me a lot. And the second one people ask me is, how do you get through 5 combat tours? There's 2 things. There's your mental stability and your mental fortitude, and then there's family. So the first one I'm going to talk about is like your mentality, right? Your mental fortitude of what you do in life. I can't really describe this any better than this. When we got to Afghanistan, my buddy said to me, he goes, "Hey, what is that big fenced off area? It looks like a driving range." And I was like, "Yeah." He and I were both big golfers. And he said, "Yeah, it does." And we found out it was actually a minefield that they'd sweep it and then they would find another mine. And they'd sweep it and they'd find another mine. And the problem is the Afghans would take like a piece of plastic pipe, put a shotgun shell into the bottom of it with something to press the detonator and then a board on top. So when you stepped on it, it would just blow your foot off, right? It's not very nice, but they couldn't find them because of this. It wasn't a typical landmine. So we decided in our infinite wisdom, hey, let's get a hold of some people that might send us some free stuff. So we emailed Ping. Ping said, "Hey, we'll send you a bunch of demo clubs." Hey, that's awesome. So then we sent an email to Top Flight. Top Flight said, "Hey, we're gonna send you a few boxes of golf balls. They're X-Outs." bad golf balls. Okay, so we get these golf balls and these golf clubs, and we decide to make a driving range in the landmine field. And we said, okay, anybody here, anyone standing around, when a golf ball hits a landmine and it goes off, everybody else owes them $100. No questions asked, and everybody agreed. I'd love to tell you that happened, but we never set off a landmine the entire time. Now, why do I tell you this story? You have two choices. Everything you do in life, you have two choices. You can embrace it, and you can live with it, or you can say, I'm just going to defeat it, and I'm just going to live through it. Don't do the second one. You always want to embrace whatever you do in life, okay? Nothing in life you should ever just live through, okay? You always live out the experience. Have fun with it. Do whatever you can to make it enjoyable, right? Because if you're going to just be there, what's the point of living, right? Why just sit here through middle school and be like, I just got to make it through 8th grade. I can't wait till high school. No, embrace it. Love it, live it. Have fun with life. You can always make something better. You know, and the other thing we did is we found a couple pieces of plywood, and we emailed home and said, hey, send us a net. So we got a ping pong table, right? We played ping pong for hours when we were in between flights, because our flights would take off. You'd have 6 hours before you'd have the flight come back. So you would, work in 12-hour shifts, but a lot of time in between, you're not doing much. So we're playing ping pong, we're reading books, we're working out, Do the things that help you to live life correctly, right? Make it fun. I can't emphasize this any more than a story that I heard. And I heard this before I went in the military, and it always encouraged me. I love golf, as you know, and there was a colonel, and his name was, I'm going to read it because I don't want to forget it. It was Colonel George Robert Hall. He flew over 200 missions in Vietnam. He was shot down, and then he was captured. He was sent to a prison camp that the American soldiers who lived there, the captives, they called it hand over Hilton. Trust me, when the military names something, if it sounds really cool, it's probably really horrible. And if it sounds really horrible, it might be kind of cool. I don't know why we do that, but it seems like that's just the way we nickname things. 1 out of 3 Americans that was in that camp died of disease. That's how bad it was. They tortured them. It was a horrible experience. He was there for 7 years. But in those 7 years, he made a choice. He chose every day to play a round of golf with his head. Kind of weird, right? He sat down and he played a round of golf. It took him hours. He would smell the grass. He would see his buddies that he was going to golf with. He would choose the clothes he was going to wear. He would figure out which club he was going to use for every shot. He would see the hole. He'd see the pin placement. The pin would be different every day, just like it is in golf. And he would play that round, and it would take him forever. And he did it over and over and over and over again. Now, the secret was he wasn't a phenomenal golfer. He was an okay golfer before he left. 7 years in a camp. A lot of that time spent in a box that was 4 feet by 4 feet by 5 feet tall. I don't know how tall he was, but he was my height. That sounds miserable. He did this every day. Why? He wanted his mental fortitude to be strong. He wanted to be able to get through this with a positive experience somehow, right? He got home. Here's the crazy part. He got home. He spent a couple of months in rehab, and he got invited to a pro-am, not to play, but to watch. The man walked with a cane, okay? At this point, he's still walking with a cane. He showed up with his clubs, and he said, I want to play. And they said, what do you mean? He goes, this is my favorite course. I've played it over 3,000 times. I want to play. Okay. Shot the best score of his life. He hadn't played that course since he left. He played it in his mind 3,000 times. And he shot the best score of his life in the worst physical condition that he'd ever been in. He was worse physically than he'd ever been, but his mind had played that so many times, he shot a 3 over par. 3 over par. That's pretty amazing, right? Because his mind is much stronger, your mind is much stronger than you think it is. Your mind can do things that you don't realize it can do. I know some of you that I've coached are looking at me and you're saying, you know me, coach. But I know you guys. You got a lot more going on than you think you do. There's actually another guy that did the same thing in Vietnam, and he was a major. And his story was similar, except for he was an even worse golfer. When he got home, he shot 20 strokes better than he'd ever shot in his life. And they both did the same thing. And it's just crazy to think about what you can do when you don't let negativity soak in, when you don't let doubt sink in, and you think, I'm going to live no matter what, right? I'm going to live no matter what. And so that mental fortitude, as the Air Force called it when I was in, will get you through a lot more than you think it will. That positivity will get you through a lot more than you think it can. Don't let negative sink in, and don't ever think, I just got to get through this. No, live it. No matter what it is in life, you can always live through it and enjoy it to some degree. So the second thing that helped me to get through all of my time in the military was family. Now, if you look up the definition of family, it talks about like I read it on AI today, but it was like, a mother and a father and the kids. It was one definition I got, and I'm like, okay. And then it was like a group of people with a similar past or a similar heritage. Like, okay, I kind of buy into that one more. When I joined the Air Force, I had a phenomenal family. My parents were great people. My grandparents were great people. They all lived in Weezer, where I grew up. And I had this phenomenal community that was actually blood related to me. When I joined the National Guard in Idaho and Boise, I got a new family though. I got a family that also supported me and was around me and supported my family and would do things with, when you needed them. We lost a son when I was 9 years in, and they passed the hat, and they gave us almost $5,000 of money to help us get through that. And that's a family. That's something that you can have that you're related to, but there's also family that you can have that you're not related to, but it's still family either way. And that family is crucial. So embrace the people around you that care about you. It doesn't matter if you're related to them by blood or not. If they're family, they're family. Some of my family's right over here. Some of my family's right there. Some of the guys I served with in the National Guard are sitting right here, as you guys heard. And they're my family, and that's my family. It's all the same thing to me. But you have to have that. You have to embrace it. Don't push them away. Embrace family, because that'll get you through a lot. And the last thing I want to leave you with is one thing. It doesn't matter that you get knocked down, right? How many of you played tennis this last year? Raise your hand if you played tennis for Coach Golden and I and Coach Vito. Yeah, get your hands up high. Come on, tennis players. I know every single one of you faced adversity last year because tennis is a hard sport, mentally and physically. It's hard. I think it's worse mentally than it is physically, but it's a hard sport. And I saw a lot of you cry. I saw a lot of you hurting. I saw a lot of you just down. But it doesn't matter that you get knocked down. You're going to get knocked down in life. Sports are phenomenal for that. Sports knock you down over and over and over again. But what matters is how you get back up. What matters is the way that you get back up. And I've seen it in so many people here. I've coached a lot of you in different sports, from football to tennis to basketball, and even baseball for some of you. And I know the heart of what you guys have. And I know that you have that grizzly power to say, I'm not going to fall down. And if I do, I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to get back up stronger. So I just want to say thank you to our administration for inviting me. Thank you to Weldon, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you so much.